So I've been going down the Hoonigan this or that rabbit hole, and before we get started, no disrespect to Hoonigan, this obviously isn't a drama video. I'm just going to point out some silly things that happen whenever bikes get brought onto the show. As someone who's a car guy and a bike guy, it's funny to see how little car enthusiasts know of motorcycles. Meanwhile, a lot of motorcyclists tend to still know a lot about cars, so just share a laugh with me, sit back, and let's learn a thing or two.
James Navarro, Huntington Beach, dropped my 2013 Aprilia RSV4.
This is hard because, like, from a dig, like, the bike's gonna be able to take it, right?
Why do car guys think that? Why do car guys think that? Bikes, by the way, aren't that good at launching, with exceptions of certain drag bikes, choppers, or stretched swing arm bikes. So choppers have long wheelbases because they stretch the forks out. Hayabusas that are turboed will usually lengthen their swing arm to stretch their rear tire out. You can also have bikes that have a mix of both. Like, the Busa is like almost 90 inches long, my FXDR was roughly 96 inches long, and even my FXDR could still lift the front wheel if I'm actually completely throttling it all the way. Most of the times though, it'll actually spin its rear tire. The Busa, even with a stretched swing arm, can still loop itself. Like, I'm not even joking, there are videos of it doing that. That is not an advantageous position to be in for a motorcycle ever. Cars have more traction, they have more contact patch, they have 4 wheels that are contacting the ground as opposed to bikes that only have 2. So everyone, okay, one undecided, we have one undecided. Everyone else bet that the Supra is going to beat the RSV4. So you would think that, like, man, this is going to be a close race at the very least, or the Supra was just going to annihilate the RSV4. So again, obviously I'm not trying to freeboot their content. If you want to actually hear the details of the Supra, go watch their video. But like, as you can see, the Supra, it's got that drag slicks, 1,000 horsepower, more or less you see everything of what it has. Where this is a car channel, you probably know everything you need to know about cars. I probably don't even need to tell you what an 1,000 horsepower Supra is capable of, because every car guy is practically born knowing it these days. Supra kind of had a jump, but the bike's going to give chase. Okay, so chase is a race according to how Hoonigan does this.
Because the chase is a race.
Yeah, so there you hear it. Chase is a race. The Supra did jump a little bit.
With the jump,
The Supra's just a longer vehicle, so it is what it is.
Want to try a roll or no? Yeah. How do you feel? What do you think?
Okay, so get this. The Supra guy gets negotiations here, and from some godforsaken reason, he wants to do a roll. Maybe because he thinks he's going to be in boost. Never roll race a motorcycle. You are about to see why.
Okay. So who's setting the pace?
Doesn't matter.
That is so ballsy of him to say. The fact that he's like, doesn't matter, should mean that you should be a little scared. People, like, obviously if you're like, I'm gonna set pace, so if the Supra chose to set pace, that would have been the most advantageous thing to do. It is wild to me that they think the biker's in the disadvantaged position here.
This tells me this isn't a good idea.
No, definitely not for the bike.
Like, why would he want to do a roll?
He just got conned.
Dude, they are thinking this is the worst thing the bike has ever agreed to. He's like, oh, he got conned. Oh, I can't believe he agreed to this. Ooh. All right, Aprilia setting pace.
Whoa!
Maybe he didn't.
Whoa!
And that's why you don't roll race a bike. Do we want to see how big that Applebee's was? Okay, the drone, look, just watch. I wasn't talking much now because I wanted y'all to hear the vehicle's beautiful symphony. I get it, but now I'll talk a little bit because now we basically know the result. The drone is literally struggling to keep the biker and Supra in frame. That's how far apart they're getting. This is like 3 bus links. I'm not even joking you. Like, if we just look at the size of the car, it's like 15 car links, bro. This is a lot of, like, this is what I mean by a lot of car guys really don't know how fast motorcycles are, especially from the roll. They don't have to worry about wheeling anymore. Just, there was no hope. There was no hope for that Supra. No hope. Good helmet, by the way. He's got a showy. And there comes the Supra. 2 whole business days later. All right, round 3. I already know how this is gonna go. Okay, now the Supra sets pace. All right. And it already didn't matter because, yep. Look at that. It got to set pace and it lost the lead instantly. Because, like, if you set the pace, you get to choose the gear you want. So again, I don't think it's a driver skill issue. It's just that bike is just that much faster. 2 out of 3, it's the winner. Okay, so what I gotta say about this, look. I like the Mark IV Supra, but let's be real. I think people overhype it because they still think it's gonna make the same power it did 15 to 20 years ago in peak tuner culture, not realizing so many clapped out kids have owned them that it gets weaker with each person who owns it actually, because it gets more mileage, the engine wears more. Even if you rebuild a lot of it, the block itself is wearing more. You don't know where corrosion or rust is secretly hiding. 1000cc motorcycles, especially in the sport bike category or super sports, bro, they are fast. Did you see that Gapplebees? Like, do I have to show that shot again just to prove how ridiculously fast? You need 1200, even 1400 horsepower to finally run down one of these bikes stock. Let me repeat that, just to run down a stock version of this bike, because 185 wheel is not even close to like the limits of 1000cc. You can buy several 1000cc's that are making 190, even 200 wheel from the get-go, much less ones that once you even tune them, they can get more than that, or even sillier. If you really want to turbo or supercharge them, you start getting several hundred. So to any car guy who goes, 200 horsepower, that's like the same horsepower like a Nissan Sentra makes, like, that's not that intimidating. No, that is not how horsepower works. Again, power to weight ratio, don't ever underestimate it. So we just talked about how like you need 1000 horsepower Supra, or you need like 12 to 1400 horsepower to beat a bike that has like 180 to 200 horsepower. So them putting a 1500 horsepower car against a 240 horsepower motorcycle, kind of even, until you remember that it's a Harley, which is basically double the weight of most other motorcycles that are super fast, but still.
The first thing we want to know is the number. What's the horsepower?
Full kill, it's 15-ish.
15-ish. Right, because you're running like street setup.
Yeah, this is basically street tires, 20-inch.
Those like actual
R888, tell you.
Okay, so he's got street tires. Very strange decision considering this car pushes 1500 horsepower. Respect for kind of trying to keep it sleeper look. I'm glad he didn't do anything super flashy. Black's a great color. The car looks great. Again, I like this car just like how I like the Mark IV Supra. I'm still a car guy, but like, bikes are fast. Bikes are fast.
It's 126 cubic inches, make about 240 horsepower, weighs 900 plus pounds.
Okay, that's what I thought. Heavy bike. That's basically double the way of the RSV4 we just saw, which was 450.
The compression is 1501.
All right, let's see the predictions. Let's see who they think wins.
I gotta back my boy here. I'm gonna go Harley.
Oh, whoa. This is basically the polar opposite of the Super video. You only have one guy betting on the car, and you have everyone else betting on the bike. And again, it's a Harley. It's very silly to see that in the video where they have utmost confidence in a bike winning is actually a Harley going against a supercar. This is an even weirder matchup than the previous video. Round one, there we go. Harley jumped. Wow, that was a monster. Okay, R8 gives chase. That was a insanely monstrous jump in. Oh, yikes. And unfortunately, he gets a little bit squirrely, but he was actually reeling that hog in. He was reeling that hog in. I like how casual he is about almost crashing his car. What a beast, dude. Also, this guy's a beast too, because you did realize he's no fairings. So again, no windshield, no fairings. He is complete wind force on his helmet. You need a strong neck to do that. A lot of car guys don't understand that. You need a really strong neck to ride like that. And I've lately gotten a really strong net and pretty strong traps because of the fact that I ride a naked bike and I'm just forced against the wind. Bro stole his lunch money like the kid you beat up in recess, dude. He completely jumped shamelessly. Even more when you consider that the R8 accidentally just couldn't hook. But all right, we'll speed up to round two.
Power for the roll.
Again, if you want to watch these videos in full, they're going to be linked below. I'm not trying to freeboot their content. Monstrous jump again, and the R8 gives chase this time. Look at how chill he is in his car. That's what I mean. This guy's fighting for his life against the wind on his bike, where he's literally getting his helmet pushed down and he's staring at his tank sometimes. Look, he's literally staring at his tank just to avoid the wind. We got 2 jumps so far, so this is kind of a frustrating video to watch because no super fair race yet. I think the Audi is super capable, right? Because even though the Harley does have more horsepower than the Aprilia we just watched, it's a much heavier bike, literally twice the weight, and it does not have twice the horsepower relative to that Aprilia. I mean, a chase is a race. I mean, I don't like that rule. I know it's very controversial on the channel, but like, the R8 doesn't have to chase him. 1,000-foot roll again. Okay. Okay, fair. They both literally hit at the cones. Yeah, he hit at the cone. He didn't cheat this time, but dude, his bike scoots. Dude, he's literally face down, so holy crap. Bro had the floorboards on the bike still. What a hog, dude. Dude, that's crazy. That R8, let me look at it. He hooked. I mean, he didn't spin, and this time the bike didn't jump either. I think that R8, if it had drag slicks, would do a lot better, not just from the dig, but even from the roll, because I feel like fully pressing his pedal down, even during that roll, it feels. Again, I'm not actually him, I can't confirm that, but I feel like if he had slicks and just better tire setup, I respect the fact that he's going for a sleeper build, but in my opinion, if you just want to troll people on the street, a 800 horsepower to 1000 horsepower car is already more than enough for a sleeper build, and that's a power that actually can hook on most street tires still. There becomes a point where if you get more horsepower, you really should accept the fact that you need better tires, because more or less you're nerfing yourself. Like a 1500 horsepower in street tires, you may as well just be a 1200 horsepower car, because you don't actually achieve your full capability, because there comes a point where you make too much power where you can't even put that power down, so you gotta increase your ability to put that power down. That's an impressively fast Harley. Like, that's actually really quick for how heavy it was. So like, this is gonna be the silliest video. It's the last one we're gonna watch to finish it off. So we had a sport bike and we had a heavy cruiser, and we're gonna round it off with an off-road duel. And this is a very silly off-road bike. Yet again, it's a Harley, and Harleys, aside from the Pan America, they're not traditionally known for ever really making dedicated off-road bikes. They got a little bit of flat track bikes back in the day, but this is an impressive build. So, ooh, look at that. They got all the specs on screen. So we got the Silverado pre-runner 2003 and a 2000 Harley. Power to weight ratio okay, it's got a better power to weight ratio, even though that bike probably only makes like maybe 60 something horsepower. It's a Sportster, they're not super fast. S&S heads on his bike, saw that.
S&S built motor.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
S&S heads, S&S Hoonigan kit, cams.
Oh, that's a powerful Sportster then, never mind. This is not a 50 horsepower bike.
So nothing's like a crazy
or 60 even.
You couldn't
it's still an air-cooled bike. You still see the push rods right here.
The back struts here.
And the air cooling fins. There's no radiator on it. Yeah, there's no radiator on it, so it's still air-cooled. Obviously, it's a 2000 Harley.
Yeah, it's about 450.
So stock Sportster is what, like almost 700, right?
Whoa. No, that's...
Oh, that's a dyno.
Yeah, I think stock Sportsters are probably about 5 to 550.
Okay.
And you are also both wrong.
No, he wasn't. It is 550. You got a smug editor, Hoonigan. I'm gonna call them out. Ah, I see what the editor did. So if you Google Harley-Davidson Sportster weight, it's gonna show you this. You know why? Because it's talking about the Sportster S, which is the new liquid-cooled one. And would you look at that, a 2000 Iron 883 Sportster, which is the one he's using, is 562 pounds, or as he said, roughly 550. The one I had actually was, I think, 550 right on the dot because they lose weight. I'm correct. So that is the weight of the Iron 883 I literally owned. It is 545 pounds. I knew I didn't misremember. Like, again, just a little bit playful shade, but check your stuff, editor. You know, Hoonigan, you got a little bit of a cocky editor there, a little bit of smug editor. Look at this.
You are also both wrong.
No, he isn't. He is not wrong. The bike indeed is 550 stock. You can tell, air cool fins, no radiator. You just did a quick little Google and saw the little Sportster weight, not realizing it was a liquid cooled one. Ooh, you running a car channel this big? Come on, you need to be looking for that, because that's not just a car guy thing. You know what a radiator looks like. It's a beautiful car. Bro, he's got them big turbos. Look at that. Look at those snails, bro. Again, this is not a Harley's natural element, so I would be shot at... Wow, okay, yep, there it goes. There he goes. Okay, what? Why? That is a Sportster. That is like a bike you can buy used from my grandpa for like $3 grand. And it's actually kind of right now. Yo! Look at that suspension work. Did you just see that truck? That was actually majestic. He was like gliding. He just made up all his lost time there, basically. Again, very strange bike off-road. I want to keep emphasizing that. Okay, he actually overtook the Harley. Okay. Again, that is not the Harley's natural element, so I didn't expect it to win, but very impressive fight. Very impressive fight. I don't want to just obviously freeboot all their content. If you want to watch all their other ones, like here you go right here in the recommended, look at that, this or that. The series is called This or That from Hoonigan. And y'all can go browse through, watch their car versus car videos. I just wanted to pick out the bike ones, as I told you, just because they were a little bit silly. It was kind of funny to see how little a lot of them and how wrong some of their predictions were. Not making fun of any of them, just kind of the silly reality of how little car guys tend to know of bikes. If you had fun with this video, make sure to like it, make sure to share it with your friends, and if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe for more automotive content if you enjoyed what you saw. Other than that, see y'all next time. Blade Angel out.